let's talk about something that's quietly moved from the tech department right into the C-suite. It's a piece of technology, an API, that can be one of two things for your company. Either a massive bottleneck holding you back, or the absolute engine for your growth and security. Today, we're going to break down why APIs are way more than just code. They're one of the most powerful strategic tools you have. So, let's dive in.
So let me ask you this. Every single modern business has to answer this question. You've got all this valuable data, right? You've got partners who need access to it, and you've got customers who expect everything to work flawlessly on their phones and computers. How do you connect all those dots without creating a total security nightmare or a system that's just slow and clunky? To really get it, let's try an analogy. I want you to imagine that your most valuable asset, all your data, your core services, the secret sauce of your business, is like a top-notch, professionally run restaurant kitchen. It's where all the amazing stuff gets created, but it's a super controlled environment. You can't just let anybody wander in off the street. Now, think about who's out in the dining room. Well, those are your customers. They could be your own mobile app, maybe your biggest business partners, or just your everyday users. The point is, they're all there because they're hungry, and they want something specific from that kitchen. And here's the million-dollar question, right? There has to be some kind of link between the hungry diners and the busy kitchen. You need a professional who knows the menu inside and out, who can take a very precise order, get it to the chefs, and bring back exactly what was asked for, all without letting the customer barge into the kitchen and mess everything up. That waiter, that is your API. An application programming interface is basically that secure messenger. It takes requests and delivers responses, but it does it all according to a very strict set of rules. It lets all your digital diners get what they need from your kitchen without ever setting foot inside. It's all about keeping things secure and orderly. But, not all waiters are created equal, and it's the exact same with APIs. The design of your APIs is literally the blueprint for how efficiently your entire digital business is going to run, and, more importantly, how it's going to grow. Just look at the difference here. It's really night and day. Without any standards, every new project is this slow, expensive, custom-built mess. It's like building a whole new kitchen just to make a single new dish. But with a standardized API strategy, now you're building with fast, reusable components. Your data is no longer locked away in a silo. It becomes a genuine corporate asset that you can use over and over again. And this is where the magic really happens. With reusability, you build a core function just once. Let's say a way to look up a customer's info. Then your mobile team, your web team, even your internal teams can all use that exact same API. And the result? It's simple. You deliver new projects way faster and you slash your development costs. It's a huge win. Great design isn't just about efficiency, it also makes for a way better customer experience. Think of caching as the kitchen prepping its most popular dishes ahead of time so they can be served up super fast. Load balancing, that's like having a bunch of extra waiters on hand during the dinner rush to make sure nobody has to wait too long. And an API gateway, well, that's like the maitre d', expertly directing all the traffic and making sure the whole restaurant runs like a well-oiled machine. And this idea of strategy goes even deeper. Even the style of your API, the kind of menu you offer, is a critical business choice. A REST API is like a traditional menu with set dishes. It's simple, it's standardized, everyone knows what to expect. A GraphQL API, on the other hand, is more like an a la carte menu. It lets the customer ask for a very specific, custom combination of things. One isn't better than the other. It's all about choosing the right tool for the job. All right, so growth is fantastic. We all want it, but none of it matters if your front door is wide open. And that brings us to the other absolutely crucial job of a well-designed API, building your digital fortress. Let's go back to our restaurant analogy. A really secure API isn't just the waiter. It's also the host at the front door checking the reservation list, and it's the security team making sure only the right people get in. It is your first and honestly your most important line of defense. So really effective API security stands on 3 pillars. First, there's data protection. That's all about protecting your stuff from hackers. Second is access control, making sure only the right diners can even make a request. And third is availability, which just means making sure your digital restaurant is always open for business and doesn't crash during the dinner rush. You need all 3 to build trust. A strong API strategy is also how you navigate all those complex global regulations. Look at this table. Whether you're talking about GDPR for data privacy, HIPAA for health records, or PCI for credit cards, your APIs are where you actually build in the controls that prevent data breaches, build that all-important customer trust, and, let's be honest, avoid massive fines. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, But how does it actually get done? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a very mature, professional process called API lifecycle management. And this process, it makes sure nothing is left to chance. You start with careful design, that's like the chef creating the recipe. Then you move to rigorous testing. You got to do a taste test, right? Then you deploy it. You monitor it constantly to make sure it's running well. And eventually you retire the old versions safely. It's a predictable workflow that delivers quality and stability. So why is this whole managed process so important? Because it helps you avoid this: technical debt. It's that hidden tax you end up paying big time for all the little shortcuts you take today. By managing the full lifecycle of your APIs, you stop that hidden tax from slowly killing your budget and your ability to move fast. And the business benefits of doing it this way are just crystal clear. First, you avoid that nasty technical debt. Second, you make it way easier for your teams to work together with clear standard documentation. Think of it like a universal instruction manual for all your APIs. This keeps your systems healthy and makes it super easy for new developers to get up to speed and start adding value right away. Okay, so we've covered growth, security, and process. Now let's bring it all home and talk about the real payoff: how you turn your API strategy into a serious competitive advantage. I mean, just look at this chart. This picture tells the whole story of efficiency. The time it takes to get a new product out the door is just dramatically lower when you're working with a library of reusable, standardized APIs. You're not starting from zero every time. You're building with proven, reliable parts. When you boil it all down, the return on this investment is just undeniable. You get faster growth because it's easy to connect with new partners. You lower your risk by protecting your brand from those headline-grabbing data breaches. You get higher margins because you're spending less on development. And you build a future-ready foundation that lets you actually innovate instead of just trying to keep the lights on. This right here is the fundamental shift in thinking. Without a real API strategy, your most valuable data and services are locked up. They're a cost center. But with a strategy, they become a treasure chest, a reusable strategic asset that can drive new revenue, new partnerships, and new ideas across your entire company. And that really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. When you look at your own organization, is your technology just an expense? Is it just keeping things running? Or is it actively, strategically, and securely powering your competitive advantage out there in the market? Because that choice is entirely up to you. Let's talk about